great. Okay.
Hey guys, we're live here inside the group. It's me, Muhammad Ali, and with me here is Spencer Foreman, who is the founder of LaunchFlows. We're bringing this deal to you guys, and so all the questions you have will be answered. But we need to, get to know a little bit about Spencer, why he did it, how this plugin is different from, the competition that's out there. So I'm gonna give you guys a minute or two. Just if you can hear the voice properly, my voice, just comment yes. Let me know, and then you can we can start interviewing Mr. Foreman here, Spencer. Okay, so I have to ask you a question. Who are you?
I'm ready. Well, I'm 72 years old.
What?
I know I look younger.
Wait. Go back there. I think, did you say 32 or 72?
72. No, I'm just kidding about that. I'm really 27, but the second time around.
No.
Okay, I'll be serious.
Right.
I'm 54.
Right.
But I entered the WordPress space at the very beginning. And my experience is I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, and I've done a number of different things, but I was always fascinated by technology. So in the earliest days of WordPress, I had been doing some things in the SaaS space where freemium and developing software for a platform was the new thing, giving it all away for free and so on. And then WordPress came along and it was really interesting to me. And today is a good example of it.
Right.
It's even as we speak now, 15 plus years later, because this was 2006. It's 15 years later, and now even more so, the idea of it being the only place, the only place I can think of where open source software has this mix of commercial interests and freemium or free. And the reason that's important is because WordPress has otherwise not really been organized very well as a platform. It's more like a picnic, a potluck dinner where there's hundreds or thousands of things people could put together. And so over the last 15 years, my expertise has been in teaching freelance web designers, WordPress professionals, and actually being hired by or working with all of the creators, all the name brand people. They're all my colleagues or my clients or peers to make WordPress what it is today.
Right.
And that is letting people understand that there's a small stack of really high quality plugins that work together that you don't necessarily have to ignore, but you don't need the other 250,000 things. And my other brand, my main consultancy brand is called WP Launchify. I'm not pitching it here other than to say WP Launchify is the consultancy where people can go for free to learn which are those things that I need. And then if you have questions, they talk to me for free. And from there, they either go on their own, do it themselves, or we help them. So LaunchFlows is a direct outcropping of 15 years of understanding this unique market allows people to play with software, and the software is technically free because you're not buying it, you're buying the service and the support and upgrades, and to help this marketplace evolve into something that all the other companies do from the day one, which is here's our products, here's how much we sell, you pay and you stay on our platform. With WordPress, that's never been true. WordPress is the only place where people can do what's happening today, which is like getting excited and arguing over, look at this plugin, look at that plugin, look at the price, look at that. What is this company doing? That it's fascinating. So sorry, I just had a coffee and I'm a little excited, but I'm always excited about software. So
excellent. So I know you used to work with, in the past, you worked with CatFlows, right? You worked with them before? Was that?
The story is really simple. The principles of CardFlows are Adam and Sujay, and everybody knows Adam because he's a very unique and extremely well-respected marketer and has the largest YouTube channel of anybody in WordPress.
Right.
He really specializes, if I can say this, in teaching newbies how to understand that there is such a thing as WordPress.
Right.
Sujay's team at Brainstorm Force is responsible for some of the greatest products that we have, including the Astra theme and starter templates plugins, and I could go down the list. But one of the things that they did was collaborate to solve this big problem first, which was that WooCommerce is the only plugin that at Launchify we recommend everybody has in their WordPress stack, because even if you don't sell a product, WooCommerce has so many features and functions in it that will make your life easier. without having to add more plugins.
Mhm.
But it has one fatal flaw currently.
Right.
It has none of the normal sales funnel like capabilities. So WooCommerce out of the box is sort of like going to the Home Depot.
Mhm.
You have a shop page, and the shop page has individual products. Then there's a product page. Then there's a cart. Then there's a, add to the cart and go to the checkout and then checkout. And all those steps are very clunky from the standpoint of somebody who's used to a ClickFunnels or Kartra or Kajabi or other outside CRM platforms, where you want to give somebody a sales page with an offer, and then they get taken to that and there's an order bump, and then they check out and there's an offer after. All those sales funnel things needed to be solved. So CartFlows, in a nutshell, was the first mover into the space.
Mhm.
And in the process, I was approached by Sujay, because he knows of my experience in helping other clients and other authors and so forth, to become an author of their skilljet.io site, which my course is still there, to get people excited and understand how to use the CartFlows product for building sales funnels.
Right.
In the process of doing so, for better or worse, I discovered, because I'm a developer as well, how they wrote the code and what they did to make it work. And in all fairness, they did what they wanted to do. They built a framework.
Right.
When you use CartFlows, just like when you use WooFunnels, you get the benefit or the burden, depending on your perspective, of you must do things a certain way. With CartFlows, there's flows and steps. And inside each step, you must do things a certain way with a certain product in a certain order.
Right.
I explained to them at the time, I felt that was not the proper way to do it. I felt that the sales funnel should be solved at the level of the native WooCommerce, like an accessory to the products that exist, an accessory to the features. And the reason for that was twofold. Number one is I felt it was a mistake to add an entire layer of custom, post types and all this other framework stuff, because it's heavier. It requires somebody to do things a certain way. It's like saying you can't just drive on the right side of the road, you have to drive sideways or something. And the second reason was because I also felt like it was interfering with, I have used the term hijack,
Right.
interfering with the normal checkout process, which is actually factually correct even to this day.
Right.
Because all of the accessories to WooCommerce are expecting certain hooks and filters and functions to be in existence and happen in a certain order. If you take responsibility with your framework for managing that checkout experience in a way like they do, there are some things that don't behave normally. Two big ones, for example, are doing certain upsells or downsells with subscription payment products in CartFlows, like PayPal, certain gateways, still has problems. When you talk about like affiliate WP with affiliate commissions, there's sometimes that the affiliate commission doesn't trigger properly with certain parts of the sales funnel, because they had to take the whole guts of WooCommerce's transactional engine and replicate it to a certain extent.
Right.
LaunchFlows doesn't do that. LaunchFlows is more of like tweaking here and adding a little here and massaging the sort of process so that you get all of the benefits, but in a way that is both lighter weight, doesn't require you to change your behavior, and can be used across any number of templates like Oxygen, which apparently seems to be very popular.
Right. So it works with Oxygen, because that's what I was getting. A lot of questions are saying, does it work with Oxygen? Does it work with this? So I guess it's a short code, right? That you can place anywhere in any page.
Let's explain what LaunchFlows does in 2 columns.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised by this myself. There are people who think that they need something to make the checkout look differently,
Right.
because they want to replicate maybe the multi-step features of what Shopify does, right? Can I have a multi-tab checkout that looks and acts like Shopify? Sure. Can I have something that looks like ClickFunnels? Sure. But then there's the other column of people who are like, I'm fine with what a normal checkout looks like in WooCommerce, and that's all good. But what I want is mechanical changes to, I want a product to be able to go directly to the checkout, or I want to add an order bump on the checkout, or I want to have a custom thank you page or instant donation. So the 2 types of people in 2 columns are the mechanical, problem solvers, and then there's the people that want the look and feel. Now, I thought initially when we launched the product that the look and feel was the most important thing. I've been proven wrong. because in the meantime, in the last 18 months, there are like 100 trillion, maybe more, free templates on 6, 7, 8, 10 different page builders: Gutenberg, Divi, Beaver Builder, Elementor, Oxygen. The only one that's a naughty boy is Brizzy for some reason. But everybody else honors standard shortcodes. Now, with Elementor, I give you a bonus. I made some custom widgets for Elementor specifically. And the reason I did those, because everything otherwise runs fine with the shortcodes, was because Elementor had the largest audience. And I made LaunchFlows so you could use the free version of Elementor. And even as we sit here today, even if you have Oxygen or Divi or Beaver Builder, I still say, could you please do yourself a favor? Put in the free plugin for Elementor free.
Right.
Use Elementor free, because then like all the videos, everything else, it's just so simple, and you get the benefit of the custom widgets, which, by the way, what they do is just give you more design control right there in the layout. You can still do the design stuff normally with shortcodes, but you have to just do it through, the other theme methods. So for the visual people, yes, you can use Oxygen, any builder. You can make it look and act as you wish with the normal components. The shortcodes essentially give you those mechanical advantages. Like, for example, in standard WooCommerce, there's no way you can have an empty cart. There's no way you can have a checkout that has a product in it. There's no way that you can automatically have one-click checkout. You can't do order bumps. You can't do ups. There's so many things you can't do. But by simply taking a regular page or a post or a lesson with your favorite page builder, just plop in the shortcode to add a product or two, and you've now got this ability to have the kind of experience you want with whatever your design is, like of the free templates.
Right.
Okay. And then on the other side of things, like the 5 things that we feature at the front of LaunchFlows on the homepage, those mechanical things, any one of those by themselves is worth the $50 a year. And certainly the lifetime value that you're pricing this at, because we looked at the market and there are dozens and dozens and dozens of plugins that you can buy that cost more than that just to do any one of those things.
Right.
And since these do these with WooCommerce, you get the added benefit of, we only add just enough to make it work with WooCommerce without a whole nother load of goods on top.
Right. Excellent. So there was this comparison between WooFunnels and LaunchFlows that's going on today. Sorry. So what are the main difference? Again, I know you explained everything fine, but I want the average person to understand without, any, we understand it does similar stuff, but there are major differences. I actually would say they could be completely different products if somebody was to, although they still achieve the same things in some ways. So would you explain or compare those two and contrast? Yeah.
I mean, first, let me say it like this.
Right.
I find all of this amusing in a respectful way to the audience, because I'm colleagues with the authors of WooFunnels. We haven't worked directly together, but they may have been working with me in my capacity of helping Jack Arturo to market and support WP Fusion, which is an essential tool for any kind of sales funnel anyways, because it connects your CRM and it lets you do all the tracking.
Right.
So we have nothing but respect for each other. And although we have products in the same space, that's not unusual. Everyone else is making this into a war. And I think both of us are kind of laughing because we're like, we've been in this peace and love granola community for so many years. And everyone else is saying we're fighting. We're like, hey, we're hanging out. And even with Adam and Sujay, there may have been some drama when I decided to make LaunchFlows and I was no longer in the CartFlows community, but I interact with them regularly anyway. So anyway, just to set that tone,
right,
the functional difference could be explained probably by explaining that framework thing. So it is fair to say that if a feature is necessary for sales flows or funnels or custom checkout pages or whatever, if it exists already as a plugin for free or otherwise, but really for me for free in the WordPress community, I hesitate to add it as a feature into LaunchFlows, because my training of all of my clients and all of my students, over 40,000 now over the last 15 years, has been, don't reinvent the wheel, okay? There's no benefit to your customers in WordPress where plugins are modular to take on responsibility for a plugin that somebody else has already made into their life goal or livelihood. So for example, I've been asked, why doesn't LaunchFlows have a checkout field editor so that like I can, as you should, hide all of the billing fields that have to do with addresses? I'm selling a virtual product. First name, last name, email is all I should give. Why don't you have that included in your product? I'm like, because there's 7 plugins that do it, one of which is free. And so what we do is just show people, please install the free checkout field manager plugin with your LaunchFlows, and ta-da, you're done. Because in today's WordPress, there's no restriction or limit or detriment to adding more plugins as long as they're doing one thing really well. Okay. WooFunnels, much like CartFlows, I think is fair to say, is a framework. In other words, it has tools and features that do a lot of stuff that we do with accessories. For example, marketing automation. We do it by working with any of the tools, including WP Fusion, If So, Uncanny Automator, and so forth. Tracking your sales results. We tell people it's a WooCommerce product. Use Metoric or use any of the add-ons for WooCommerce reporting, or use your CRM to track sales. In other words, it's awesome that they've got those things in their dashboard, and you do have to use their tool to see those things in the dashboard. But we're a Swiss Army knife. Pull out the tool you need, and they're a kitchen with all the appliances. Use our kitchen, but you have to use our kitchen a certain way. Right. And that really reflects itself in CartFlows as much as it is WooFunnels. CartFlows in particular, you have to create a flow, which is a custom post type. Then you have to have steps in the flow, and each step in the flow has to have all of the products and everything enumerated in an exact order, and it becomes extremely burdensome for somebody like our clients who have maybe 100 different SKUs, right? One of our main clients sells video training. He has 100 courses. He had to replicate 100 times the flows. It just becomes an awesome burden. We are like, why do you need to do that when you have already the products? Just make the product that you already created do what it wants. So that's kind of the biggest difference. It's the amount of features, the amount of code, the amount of you must do it this way are just different. Not better or worse, different.
Different.
And then finally, just let me reflect upon this. There's a false sense of value to the existence of pre-made templates. Right. Okay. Everybody seems to be freaking out that my demo sites are very clean and simple. I say to them, here's why. If you look at CartFlows and you look at WooFunnels, they have a few starter templates that are included. That is a ridiculous, card trick of diversion, because if you go to the starter templates plugin, like I've shown, you get 100 free templates that are exactly the same thing. And with LaunchFlows, you just take the page that looks close to what you want, plop in the short code for order bump, or if it's a thank you page or an upsell, or even if it's a checkout, the rest of the page looks good, and you just stick in what you want with the layout of the checkout. It takes 2 seconds. I've got a video on that quick start video that shows that. Right. So for me to spend time and effort to build a library of templates, when somebody's going to come along and say, but what about the other 850 million templates I already have? Can I use those? And I'm like, of course you can. Right. Why even start? And furthermore, last thing is, you can use any of the templates from WooFunnels or any of the templates from CartFlows with LaunchFlows. Right. Absolutely no problem.
And that's definitely the point. So, and then I realized, if you're using, for example, the automation side that they have, the email marketing, everything, there's this plugin, there's this product called Public Connect. I don't know if you know about it, that if you actually, work with it integrates directly with WooCommerce. So if you buy anything if you use LaunchFlow, you use Public Connect, you don't need any of the other plugins that for automation, because it's just like Zapier. It handles all the automation, the emailing and all that stuff. And that's one thing I think that's the power of LaunchFlows, right?
As an example of how LaunchFlows can be useful outside of normal thinking, WooCommerce has thousands of add-ons, which is my primary motive for writing LaunchFlows the way I did was, don't break WooCommerce, because it's such an ecosystem by itself. So we've had people using WooCommerce where the only thing they needed for LaunchFlows was, can you please make it that instead of having a shop-like experience, I have a direct-to-checkout experience? Or can you please make it easy for me to do a custom thank you page? Or can you please make it easy for me to just do an upsell after checkout? Those things by itself might be enough if you're using a third-party service, as you're describing, that connects with WooCommerce. Because what happens is, if it's happening in WooCommerce, you can tap into it with LaunchFlows.
Right. Excellent.
And then one other thing, let me add to that. Sorry about that to interrupt.
Right.
LaunchFlow's main benefit, as far as the products are concerned, if you have a product, you can program in how that product is supposed to behave. I call it the product DNA. So you can then take what we call the direct to checkout link for that product, and you can put it anywhere you market. Facebook, Instagram, on your homepage, even inside your own site, so that any button or clickable element is not just the capability of like going to a store, but it includes the specific checkout page, specific thank you page, the specific behavior of how this will act, including automatic discounts, instant bundles, affiliate. All that stuff can be programmed into the product now, so that you just use that link anywhere it is, and it's like magic versus having to force somebody into your own shop or something.
Right. And you say LaunchFlow works with the free version of Elementor? That's
exactly. Yeah. So for example, the donation form, you don't need the pro version of Elementor in order to get that instant donation, instant payment form and stuff.
And can it be used on any other WordPress website, like any other WordPress? It doesn't have to be Elementor, right? That's somebody's asking.
Correct. Yeah. The only problem we've had, and I was I'm going to say this with a caveat as well. I like Dimitri and the team at Breezy. I bought their original lifetime value myself, which I never buy lifetime values because I'm a developer. I get everything mostly for free. But the point was, I was like, I want to support them. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's like there was the cloud thing and there was the plugin thing, and I'm reading a lot of other people having issues have nothing to do with WooCommerce or LaunchFlows, but something is randomly breaking various components of WooCommerce. For example, I had a client who came in that was trying to use one of their modal pop-ups for adding something to the cart, and I could see in the console there was a JavaScript error, and I'm not sure why or how. Maybe it wasn't Breezy, maybe it was another product. But the point I'm making is the Breezy, I have to put a I don't know answer onto it, because they're not doing things standardized like in outputting. And maybe that's because they're trying to make it compatible with the cloud or whatever. But all the other page builders, it works with everything, even if you do not have Elementor. For example, Gutenberg still annoys me because of how janky it is. But if you use, let's say, the add-ons from Gutenberg Hub or one of the other add-ons that make it really easy to build, awesome. Just take your shortcodes, put them into a shortcode or a text block, save them as a library. Ta-da, you've got like your own version of Elementor, but on Gutenberg. And you can do that with Divi or Oxygen or whatever. Same idea.
Excellent. Excellent. So a lot more questions coming through. Somebody saying, why is support only 2 years?
Okay, here's why. I'm old. I may not be alive in 3 years. No, in all seriousness, here's why. I have been selling things my whole life. I have made my life goal and reputation to be known, even though I'm an attorney, a trial attorney, a real estate developer. I have lots of degrees and licenses. I am a handshake, honorable person. I know from experience that if I promise what I will live up to, there will be no confusion. I have also seen how these products work because I've been selling products in WordPress since the beginning for 15 years. There's absolutely no possible way I can think of, none under the sun, that anybody's going to need my personal support beyond what I give for free anyway, beyond a couple days or a week. To add on 3 years support is a false promise, because what I've had happen before is that unreasonable people come out of the woodwork and you give them, let's say not 3 years, but let's say you unlimited deal for a lifetime. They come at you 7 years from now when I'm retired in, Florida or something, and like, Spence, you owe me everything because I paid you $12 before. It's nonsense.
Mhm.
So I priced this product. We dropped the price.
Right.
I mean, retail. It was originally $300 per year for the unlimited. We made it 300 retail for the lifetime deal, and now you're offering this special price here, which is even more ridiculous.
Right.
It's 2 years because anybody who has seen me go to the Facebook group for free or ask around, my name and reputation in WordPress is that guy does back springs and hand flips to make people happy.
Right.
And even after you're done, I will fix the problems. Not like problems that you have with your life or your website, but problems if there are with the plugin or with what it's supposed to do.
Right.
So I think that's a fair trade-off, is to be like, we're dating for 2 years officially, but we're going to be friends for life. And even if we're not friends, I'll still do what's right because that's how I roll.
Right. And also the thing is that most people who buy the deal now, anyways, my advice to them is you have 2 years to learn, to take advantage of the support, to make sure you understand the product. In 2 years, you'll be a pro, even offering support to your customers, because this comes with client license, right?
LaunchFlows takes 12 minutes to learn how to use. And
Right.
if you haven't figured it out, see, I don't want anybody to be confused. Personal support means I'm willing to go in and dig into your website a little bit and help you with your problems.
Right.
You've made a mess because you put the LaunchFlows with X and Y and Z, and now your site is blowing up. That's different than LaunchFlows having a problem. LaunchFlows being so lightweight and so, as I said, like not a framework, means that I've also done myself a favor by not creating these catastrophic pinch points
Right.
like some other of these products have right now. Like CartFlows still has problems with upsells on subscription products through certain gateways. And it's like, look in their Facebook groups and you'll see those don't get easily fixed because you've got a base of users that you can't screw around with, and you've got to fix a new problem. I don't suffer from that problem. And so when we go into this relationship, in 2 years from now, we'll be all on Mars with Elon Musk. You won't need to worry about this. But
Right.
like, but in all fairness, come on, this is ridiculous conversation. 3,
Good.
4, 6, 12 years, whatever.
Right. Somebody said, what about Thrive Themes? Is it compatible with Thrive Themes? I don't know.
Well, let's distinguish too, because I, as a marketer, this always hurts me in my brain and my soul. I don't understand why Thrive Cart and Thrive Themes couldn't sort it out. I don't know who came first, chicken and the egg, but the fact that those are different things, but so related in many ways. There's the themes and the plugins, and then there's the Thrive Cart, which is a SaaS company that actually competes with WooCommerce
Right.
and sales funnels. So you're referring to the themes,
Themes.
and those are what I will call a first generation builder, much like a visual builder or one of those type of tools. The old school chunky monkey, like, oh, I remember when we used to carve things out of wagon wheels. They work fine, but you're kind of like, back to my conversation of why not just put the free Elementor plugin in place and make your sales page where, sure, the header and footer is from Thrive Themes, but make the middle part just an Elementor page. I mean, it's so
Right.
simple, so easy, because people don't seem to understand. But let me explain that WordPress is a sandwich.
Right.
Header, footer, main ingredients, and on the side is a pickle if you have a sidebar. Okay. Your themes, your old Thrive theme, your Avada, your X theme, God forbid, even some new themes that customize all that stuff. Use those to your heart's content. Just put either native Gutenberg or Elementor free plugin in the middle for your sales pages and check out. Your life will be so easy, and there's no cost, and it's faster. You know what I mean? It's faster in a lot of ways.
Excellent. Is this app has embed code feature to use with non-WordPress websites? Can you get a code from the or a link?
No, you can, what you can do, but that's really janky, is this is very, I think I know what they're asking. They're saying,
Right.
can you iframe it in? Sure, you can make a WordPress website where your sales pages or your checkout pages are all in a singular iframe, and you can iframe in that website into something else.
Right.
But that's super janky, and I am pretty sure in today's Chrome and Firefox environment, they're going to block certain things for cross-site scripting, because today the web browsers are very smart about where's the origin of where you're clicking around. So a pure iframe might work, but like that's just a waste of time. Here's a better idea. just set up a very inexpensive WordPress WooCommerce website, for $5, $10, $15, $20 a month with a competent host, and just make the header and footer look like your other stuff.
Right.
That's the way to do it. So you got one website A and B and C and D. Just make all the headers and footers look similar and bounce people back and forth between them. People don't read the URL in the browser. And as long as they feel like they're still in your brand, they don't care. But iframing something into something else is just a recipe for disaster.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. I wouldn't suggest that to anybody. And another question. So if it is compatible with Gutenberg, I'm fine with it. Somebody's saying that. Yeah, it should work.
Yeah, Gutenberg's actually, I'm excited that Gutenberg gets their shit together. Sorry for swearing, because like they have the most possibility for speed and control, but the UI has been, I talk about this every week on the WP Tonic show. Their UI is taking forever to sort out. So by using something like the Gutenberg Hub plugin or similar to give you that kind of like, this is how it should work, you can today do quite a lot with very fast pages. And I don't say that Elementor isn't fast. I'm simply saying that you're talking about the native editor in WordPress. So it's one less layer if you go that direction.
Excellent. I'm thinking any questions else here? Okay, so subscription feature. So I guess it works with WooCommerce, so it makes...
Yeah, so use WooCommerce subscription plugin. There's a dozen plugins that do subscriptions, but this is one of those times for marketing automation. I specifically say, please do yourself a favor and use the official WooCommerce subscription plugin. There's another one from YITH. I don't know if they call them
ETH, yeah.
Yith, right?
Yeah.
So that one is competent, and we like their other product, which is the WooCommerce Customize My Account plugin.
I use that too. Right.
Yeah, but I just want to say that like there's some times that I suggest staying native to WooCommerce is not a bad idea, and I would say the WooCommerce subscription one seems to be. There's one exception, and that is that in WP Launchify, we have to be well aware of this. There was somebody who was trying to use an extraordinary gateway, and it was something that was not available in the standard, subscriptions plugin. So if you have an extraordinary use case, sure, use whatever. But otherwise, yeah, WooCommerce subscription plugin and everything, fantastic. One-time sale, multiple installments, or a traditional subscription.
Right. So yeah, for those who are trying to move away from page builders and go to good, yeah. So that's...
Yeah, high five to Gutenberg.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What about paid membership? Does it have memberships?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So here's how we teach you in WP Launchify to do memberships. Mm-hmm. We recommend that people consider doing marketing automation with WP Fusion, which is a plugin that connects your favorite CRM. So it could be the high-end stuff like Salesforce or Infusionsoft or HubSpot or blah, 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 or ActiveCampaign. Or it could be even I love this now. We love Shah Jahan and his team, but it could be like Fluent CRM, which is a plugin for WordPress. Right. By using WP Fusion with LaunchFlows and Fluent CRM, you have this incredible all-in WordPress, own it, control it system. Same like I started the conversation. We don't need to build this into our plugin because we can't do better than they do. Your thing's echoing now. Your speakers, you changed something.
I didn't change anything. Okay.
Suddenly it started echoing.
Let me check. 1 second.
Just mute your mic for a second. That'll be fine. Okay, good. So is your mic muted? Because all of a sudden it's going round in a circle. Yeah, your mic's muted, but something else is picking up. Okay, now it's good. All right, so theoretically, you would use 2 other plugins, but the power of using something like WP Fusion with Fluent CRM and LaunchFlows, absolutely freaking incredible. This puts you in a different stratosphere than what a sales funnel plugin can do, because the basic automation capabilities of even WooFunnels and CartFlows pale in comparison to what you will do with those 2 tools. So here's how a membership looks. You could use a membership plugin, but you don't need it. Instead, you have a WooCommerce product you sell. This is a subscription product. You give somebody a tag, which is like a movie theater ticket. This tag then opens up and unlocks any of the membership content with WP Fusion, including automatically enrolling into a course like a Learn Dash or Lifter course, showing pages and so forth. And it's also synchronized to the contact in your CRM. So now that can be used as a trigger for any number of automations. And it works full circle. So if in the automation, somebody opens the email, goes, oh, click the button, you can give them a new tag, which gets sent back through WP Fusion to now change what is available in the sales funnel in the future, because that person has indicated that they're interested in your offer and so on. So in other words, that's a very simple way to get the best, complete stack of stuff. And this is the method that we teach for free at WP Launchify. Don't have one plugin that tries to do everything. Instead, have a few really well-written plugins that all stay in their lane as a stack. And that's the way to solve WordPress as a platform. And so, the conclusion of that too, that I'll just bring together, people say, what's WP Launchify? WP Launchify is where I based all my expertise for 15 years. And I used to have other brands like Lab Secrets and 1WD. But over these years, we've learned how WordPress works best. And I've been in some way involved in almost all of these key plugins or their marketing and their authorship. These authors and I are working collaboratively these days, so that like Shah Jahan or Jack or I or even Sujay and stuff, we now communicate so that even if we're building separate plugins, they work like this instead of like this, because that's good for everybody.
Is the voice better now? Still having the problem?
Hello. Yeah, now it's fixed. Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. So there's another question. The same person asked the same question. Does it have dedicated Elementor elements?
Yes, widgets.
So
what I did with Elementor was, again, there's 5, 6, 7 page builders. Okay.
Right.
Pointless for me to go and create custom widgets for every page builder, because the short codes are where the action is anyway. And there's just a few parameters you can add to a short code to make it do what you want. Like, image yes or no, or title yes or no. Who cares? It's one time you do it. But with Elementor, because I just explained it's free, has like probably now 10 million users,
right,
has a huge ecosystem of widgets. I'm like, if I'm going to make widgets for any of the page builders, I'll do it for Elementor.
So that's
that's why it's there in Elementor. But for the other page builders, the short codes get you where you got to go anyway.
Okay. Integrate payments with. So payment gateways. It works with anything, I guess, that works with WooCommerce.
Exactly, which is again my secret sauce, my advantage. When you hijack, or I'm sorry, take responsibility for the checkout, guess what? You now have responsibility for compatibility with the gateways and the affiliate plugins and all the accessories that are looking to interact with WooCommerce at that level. I don't touch that. Mm-hmm. I work with the standard WooCommerce hooks and filters and functions in a way that means if WooCommerce changes their method and upgrades, I'm just going along for the ride. Nothing breaks. Whereas if you've taken responsibility and now they've done something fundamentally different, your whole team has to go back to sort of the drawing board. Like, what are we going to do about this? And I learned that. And that's why I said my joke about being 72 years old. I've seen this rodeo 100 times before. Okay. I've seen plugins written in a certain way that, and even themes, like I'm going to pick on them a little bit. Avada and the X theme, multi-million-dollar sellers a few years ago.
Right.
I wouldn't wish those on my worst enemy right now, because they've hard-coded into their templates all kinds of shenanigans that if you want to do a modern WordPress site, their themes prevent from happening. Right. I mean, it's really ridiculous. Even the standard WooCommerce page with Avada gets jammed full of all kinds of crap, like in the header, the footer, the sidebar. And it's like somebody wants to do a sales page. I'm like, here's a fix to get rid of all of the junk. That's not the right way to do it. So by keeping your plugin like standard, working with the other plugins like WooCommerce in a way that doesn't bump into it, people get all the benefits. And also
all the benefits of the independent plugins that work with WooCommerce. Okay, excellent.
Yeah. And this is not a criticism of the human beings or the people or the marketers. I mean, nobody can compete with the individuals that sell their own products. This is not an ad hominem attack. This is a factually based commentary on which is the better way to do things in 2021 and beyond. And I've been an advocate of this since day one, that we should all be building products that are standardized like a USB cable, instead of trying to do everything ourselves in a unique way, because that's how the marketplace does better. I mean, we all know what it was like to go on an airplane in the past where you had 47 charging blocks in your bag. Now you just take one cable and everything works with USB, unless you're Apple.
Excellent. I think Jit is repeating himself. I'm here again. So the only, I think the only builder that you built the widgets for are Elementor, and there's nothing for Gutenberg, right?
That's not factually correct. So let me clarify.
Okay.
The core functionality of LaunchFlows is short code based.
Right.
So pretend there were no Elementor widgets. The fair and true statement would be it works equally well with any page builder, including the native Gutenberg. I decided, because Elementor had at the time like 6 million users, and now it's probably 10 million users, I said, what's a marketplace where I would have a lot of people that would really appreciate my product because they could just drag and drop some extra cool widgets with some extra cool design gadgets in them. Right. It doesn't change the functionality, just like the in the widget design tools. I said Elementor because Gutenberg was still rudimentary, and the other plugins, Divi is awesome for designers, but for marketers, and I would rather a faster plugin, like Elementor is faster than Divi, and so forth. So the answer is, it works equally well with everything, but as a bonus, you get those extra widgets for Elementor specifically. But you could also use shortcodes in Elementor, which would work fine.
Great. I think we had most of the questions answered. I don't see any.
Those are good questions, by the way.
Yeah, they're coming really good. Is this?
Yeah, somebody, Graham George, who had emailed in, by the way, I'm just seeing on your post, he said you can use Elementor with Gutenberg, which is to my point.
Right.
We talked about using the best plugin for the right job, staying in its lane, right? Stacked up.
Mm-hmm.
Think of Elementor as a utility for dragging and dropping the design of the checkout components. With LaunchFlows, when you take that standard IRS tax form that is the regular WooCommerce checkout, you get yourself a little X-Acto knife, and you just imagine like you cut around like coupons in a newspaper, cutting out the coupons with the knife. What LaunchFlows does is it takes the stuff that's already put on by WooCommerce, and it allows you to cut out and remove stuff, shuffle stuff around, change the style, but it's not generating it. It's not making that happen. And so when you use Elementor as a tool for that, you just get the free benefit of like, oh, here's a tool that all I need to use it for is this one page. It's not going to hurt anything or slow down my site. Why wouldn't you use it? Because you get the extra bonus, ta-da. Just like that checkout field manager that I described.
Okay, so this is another good question here. How much does the plugin add to the front end in terms of weight? I'm gonna try it anyway, but would be helpful if you can share some insights. So
that's a good question.
Very good question.
Okay, so the question has been asked in other ways. Other people before said, what does it load? How much JavaScript? These are really good questions. That's one of the things that it's really good about. There are a number of different CSS files that are purposeful, but LaunchFlows is specifically designed so it will not load the checkout JavaScript. The kind of main JavaScript file will only load on a page that you've specifically designated as a LaunchFlows checkout page. So the answer to that is a great one. It doesn't load across the whole site any JavaScript. It only will load it specifically on that page. And that file, I'd have to look at the size of the file. It's a very small file. It's in kilobits. I mean, it's like, it shows up on my developer screen in like one window. Okay.
Right.
There are a number of custom functions that are, again, loaded in the appropriate place, either front end or back end. And then there's quite a bit of CSS, but I've also minimized that. So I would say in comparison to CardFlows or WooFunnels, it's a fraction of the weight. I mean, I would be interested to see as far as like actual sizes of the files. I've never thought about it. But from a practical standpoint, here's the answer. You will not have anything about LaunchFlows that makes you go, what the hell is going on with my site? Like, why is this slow? What happens that does surprise some people, there's one thing that I decided to do purposefully. If you are using LaunchFlows for that custom checkout, WooCommerce by itself does not allow you to have an empty checkout, meaning no dollar amount. It also does not allow you by default to have what I'll call a cart-like experience on the front end of your checkout. They have a thing that is essentially called cart fragments. So if you are in WooCommerce, the reason they send you to the cart page is because the cart page in WooCommerce is the only place where you can dynamically change things and add things, and you see that little Ajax spinning wheel deal.
Right.
Normally on the checkout of WooCommerce, the only thing you can change that causes spinning wheel stuff is the quantity, which works exactly the same with LaunchFlows. Here's the one thing I decided to do. Because there's lots of people who want that one page checkout experience, I wanted to be able to do those order bumps, right? Those things where you just check a box and it adds the product.
Right.
I didn't want to interfere with or break or change or get in the way of that WooCommerce behavior I just described, like CartFlows does, and I think like WooFunnels does, to add my own Ajax-y kind of deal in. So
Right.
I chose a different method. I took the standard WooCommerce add to cart behavior and I linked it with a very lightweight jQuery trigger so that when you use the order bump, instead of seeing a little spinning wheel, instead I put a very elegant little white screen reload. It takes less time than the Ajax, but it goes like boop, like white screen, and then ta-da, the magic trick is done and the cart has the updated. People are asking me, well, what's going on? Why is it reloading the page? And I'm saying, this is why. I timed it, I tested it, I looked at the benefits. People who are your buyers don't care if the screen goes poop and then it's back from white or goes, oh, look at the little spinning wheel for 30 seconds. They probably prefer this over this, but
Right.
That's the reason that I do that. Otherwise, everything else is standard WooCommerce, which means it's fast and it's lightweight as it would be in WooCommerce itself, subject to your own, hosting and so forth.
Right. So if somebody was to use webhooks, they use on the WooCommerce side, right? They don't have to worry about connecting it to LaunchFlows.
Correct. In other words, there are some functions that you could take advantage of with if you want to filter. For example, this isn't necessary, but like there's one thing like the instant registration. The instant registration is piggybacked onto the normal behavior of WooCommerce that allows you to sell a free product and register and log someone in. But it's janky because then somebody gets like a transaction. You bought a free $0 product, and then the administrator has 10 million free products, and then the checkout page has 100 fields on it that are like, why do I need that? So what we did is we put in a function that can be filtered for anybody who likes to work with filters to add or remove or tweak or whatever. But otherwise, almost everything about LaunchFlows is just to piggyback onto what you do natively with WooCommerce. And if not, it's available in the shortcode attributes or in the URL string. For example, a very popular thing is to give a product with one click and put it in the checkout. What if you wanted to add a discount? Cool. Use the LF coupon in the URL string. So you make a coupon with WooCommerce for 25% off. It's called Muhammad.
Right.
Then the URL string, you add $LF coupon equals Muhammad. Guess what? That link you now put on your Facebook ad will automatically give an affiliate credit and a 25% discount and put them in the custom checkout and be ready to buy with one click. Simple as that.
Excellent. Excellent. So any other questions? I think we're coming to the end right now, and because I know you have to go at 10:53 or 9:53 for you. And any other question? What's the plan for integration? What will be the limitations if use WP Fusion Lite?
WP Fusion Lite is great. The difference, because I'm the guy, like this is what's funny because people will start to see me around and about. I'm all over WordPress, but like if you go to WP Fusion, Jack and I have a direct relationship, and he's one of the most amazing developers. This plugin he's got, WP Fusion, was the game changer of all time. WP Fusion Lite, and I say that by the way because if you go to WP Fusion, you can go get a free call with me from there, or you can get a free call from me from whatever. WP Fusion Lite, it does not have the plugin to plugin interaction. So you can use WP Fusion to connect your WordPress site to a CRM, but you can't use it between the plugins. So for example, like I gave you an example, you buy a WooCommerce product and you obtain a movie theater, a tag, a ticket to the movies. With WP Fusion Regular, this can automatically enroll you inside of your LearnDash course, or this can automatically change your Elementor layout, or this can that's only available in the paid version of WP Fusion. But what you can use WP Fusion Lite for is to onboard somebody with, let's say you have a main subscription, just one membership. It'll work great as long as you only have one, because what you do then is only people who have been registered and logged in are members, and you can accomplish that with the free plugin because it gives you one free tag. When you register, you get a free tag. So you use that for the one membership and it can be done. I will tell you this much though. If you're going to run a membership site in today's world, marketing automation with WP Fusion should be like your baseline gotta have, because it is such a game changer as far as the user journey, churn rate, like knowing what you're selling, that you would just be handicapping yourself to not use it. And that's why I bring this together with LaunchFlows and WP Launchify. We try to explain to people that you can actually avoid lots of complicated, expensive plugins. Most people do not need to buy a membership plugin anymore.
Can we get WP Fusion at $199 as well?
It's $247, but I think there's a code, and I know that if they come through me as a consultant, I have a discount of 25% as well. So there's something to be said for that.
Sure, we can talk about that, no problem. So guys, I think Spencer has an appointment to go, but most of the questions, I think we answered them. I guess we'll come back for some more, walkthrough.
James Martinez, he says, how do you not get tired of answering the same question 15 different times? That's actually funny and a good question. Here's why. I am sincerely 54 and I do take care of myself, but I raised 3 kids by myself. Okay. And I've been through lots of drama in life, but I actually, being an entrepreneur, think that this is probably the WordPress ecosystem, probably one of the most fun, non-job like livelihoods I've ever had. And I mean, financially, I don't need this as much as I want this because of where I am in my life. So I actually think of it like I get up every morning. I could not be more excited than to do what I do, which is I talk to 4 to 6 new people a day from around the world. I help them with their problems. I'm able to create something that solves problems for thousands of other people, whether it be my products or the courses. And it keeps me young because right now I'm not wearing any pants. And it's a summer day and I'm not in a suit and I'm literally having so much fun talking to you. So you can ask me the same thing 100 times and I love to talk about it.
Excellent. Any extra discount? No, guys, come on. This is really good price.
I want to say something about the price on this. I will give credit to Mohammed here because there are other people offering products who are outstanding people as well. And they're different plans, different bundles. Everybody's entitled. I like to treat my partners, JV partners, or other affiliates and so forth as fair as I can as a friend. Here's the deal. I am able to sell LaunchFlows at a loss leader price to what I really feel its value is. And I can do that because it's not my main livelihood. As I've said, I'm not 25 years old and I'm not like pinching every penny to get 6, more cents out of it or something. I can sell it at a price that allows everybody to get a huge value, to have my partners get a reasonable participatory share in promoting it. But in the bigger picture, it really is a loss leader to me, to both my standing in WordPress as a thought leader, as well as to the other things that I do, where if you have a website and you need help, guess what? Who are you going to call? That guy that likes to answer my questions a million times is probably for free a great guy to call. And maybe for this or that or the other consultancy, he'll help me to get my thing fixed or built or whatever, because that's really where I make my living. And I don't take away from the other people that want to sell at a higher price, but I also feel that we're in a unique place with WordPress. If you go to ClickFunnels charges $300 a month to rent a room in a space where nobody will give you personal attention for any reason under the sun. That's $3,600 a year. In WordPress, the stack that I'm referring to of all these plugins, $600 to $1,200 on average per year. And if you buy a lifetime deal of these products, come on, you've just you bought yourself a lifetime of everything you need in a box to own it and control it. So I'm thrilled if we get 10 or 100 times more people buying this lifetime deal than, everybody, like I say, nickel and a dime in it. And then 2 years from now, we're all on Mars with Elon Musk anyway. So who cares?
That's a good question. So I appreciate your transparency, and it's refreshing to see. Question is, what does WooFunnels do better, or that you wish you added or will add to LaunchFlows?
I couldn't answer that fairly. It's like saying to a guy, well, why does a girl like your friend more than you? I don't know. I can only answer for myself and say, I am unique in WordPress. The reason that I'm not on CardFlows was I was doing this sounds like one of those interview answers. I was doing such a good job helping people in the CardFlows Facebook group with their problems with CardFlows that it's my opinion, and I've said this publicly, when Adam came back from his vacation, he was a little freaked out because and in fairness, he was right. It didn't look good for CardFlows that there's a guy in there that's not Adam or anybody from their team directly saying, oh, well, yeah, you're right. That's broken. Here's a fix. Or, oh, that's not working. Here's a fix. It looked like there was something wrong with their product, and that's correct and fair. And I don't think there's any bad blood from that. No. He basically said, get the hell out of here. And I said, yeah, you're right. I need to build my own plugin and then do it the way I think. So I built everything based upon actual feedback.
Right.
And I'm well known for, somebody comes to me today and says, Spence, can it do this? I think it should do that. I go, God damn it, you are right. Let's do that. And I just go code it. And then an hour later, it's in the plugin. Nobody does that except for maybe Jack Arturo, who, again, I work with and is a great role model for that from a developer standpoint. But Adam is not a coder. The WooFunnels guys could do that, but I don't know if they do that. It's not my business to know that, but I do that. So that's one of the assurances I can give about why you'd want to date LaunchFlows.
Right. Excellent. Guys, we just, to be fair here, we have a very limited number of coupons to work with at the beginning.
Oh, and have them all go to, because I have to run for a call, but have them all go. It's free to join our LaunchFlows Facebook group.
Yes, okay? Yes, we'll share that too.
And although I'm happy to answer questions on your thing, if you go to LaunchFlows, there's so much stuff about where this came from, where it got here. There's a lot of stuff I probably need to clean up because all the features as they develop, but everybody can join there for free.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll share the link with them. So definitely. Thank you so much, Mr. Spencer, for coming here. We will definitely welcome for more sessions, I guess, to a few demos here and there.
We can do another session tomorrow if you want. I know the sale's running. I'm happy to talk about it all day long.
Excellent. All right, let's do that. Okay, guys, thank you for joining. Excellent. We enjoyed your questions. We did have clarity on the differences between WooFunnels and LaunchFlows. The prices are definitely different. The stack is different. The way the behavior of how things work within the two plugins completely different. So I guess we have everybody now can make a decision for themselves. But even if you buy,
by the way, I just want to say one last thing because I have to run because I have another client waiting. It's 30 days, no questions asked, refund. Okay.
Right.
Everybody can ask me anything they want. I see a lot of funny questions. I'm sure when I get off my calls, I'll answer some of those as well. Ask me anything. I don't care. Somebody made a joke like, "Hey, will you teach your kids how to support it after year?"
Yeah, because you're 72.
My middle kid actually is learning WordPress. So, but those kind of questions, just bring them to me. You have no risk. There's like zero risk here, and just try them. And last thing, it's crazy, but it works. If you already have CardFlows, you already have WooFunnels, or you want them both, guess what? I've priced this that you can have both. You could have all three of them if you want, because you could take a little of this and a little of that. LaunchFlows is like a Swiss Army knife that fixes some broken things. So for many people, maybe it's just enough that it fixes like a client site that is using WooFunnels or CardFlows or whatever. I mean, who cares?
Right.
All right.
Excellent.
I'm going to say bye.
Okay.
But
thank
I'll see
you
guys on the next call.
Okay.
Thanks,
I'll see you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Bye.